Mhm.
Hi, my name is Jeff Henley,
I'm Marquis Pixley.
and we would like to welcome you to our first interpersonal analysis video. We decided to call our discussion "Who's in
Who's
Charge?" Yeah. While we will be discussing the interpersonal dynamics of the teams from The Amazing Race in seasons one, using episodes 1 through 4. I would like to analyze Team Rob and Brandon as an effective team using concepts action-oriented listeners and people-oriented listeners. Concept one, using action-oriented listening, I want y'all to notice. I'd like for you to notice the interactions while opening and reading the tasks. While one is reading, the other is always focused on the information being given. He's not interrupting. He's not expressing any excitement. He's not yelling, etc., but formulating a plan of action. Both players show enormous respect for themselves and each other, and which allows them to establish a course of action and quickly and implement their plans. And we see this throughout the game. For an example, in episode 2, they arrive at the Eiffel Tower where Brandon is the one who is reading the task instructions. He knows each other's strengths and weaknesses and decides Rob, who he calls the Stairmaster Man, he should be the one to climb the stairs.
Yes, their communication remain clear. Rob often take the lead in conveying information while Brenham actively process and execute.
Exactly, exactly. Both of them are always focused on each other. They listen, even when they're with their other groups, with their alliances. The other alliances, they may get into an argument, but Rob and Brandon, they stay focused on the task. They don't get involved in all that. And my second concept I'd like to talk about to discuss is people-oriented listening. So let's go back to each of the interactions with the other teams and the locals that they encounter. Rob and Brandon are able to establish a rapport with locals to seek help and guidance and accomplish their goals. They listen closely and they take all advice to help them formulate a plan. For an example, in episode 1, they arrive in South Africa where they arrive as Team 3. Frank is loud and obnoxious towards Margarita. And this raises the concern with Rob regarding Margarita, and he asks if she's okay, while simultaneously he's listening for any clues that while they're back and forth banter, maybe they might slip up and say something. That's one of the things I've noticed about them. They listen really closely. And another example is like in episode 3, they're on the train to Marseille where Bob strikes up a conversation with a local named Eric. Eric informs them that they could save a lot of time by taking a taxi from Avion to the castle of Lobu. This saves them time and helps them to be one of the first 3 teams to the castle.
Despite the distractions from Frank and Margarita, Rob and Brenham stay focused. But Rob got information from Ed for a faster route to the castle.
Right, right.
Uh,
But by talking to the locals while they're traveling, you can always gain some kind of knowledge, some kind of information of the area, and that's one of the things that they've done. And I've even noticed, even in other episodes, they've even asked other people to help guide them. They even had a couple of ladies escort them around some of the places. So watching these two guys work is is it's nice to see 2 guys being able to work like they do and be an effective team.
yes, that I agree. That I agree. And then I would like to analyze Team Frank and Margarita um, as an ineffective team with two-way communication and decoding. And the reason why I feel like Frank and Margarita are an effective team, their two-way communication struggles that often made challenges harder for them. For example, let's take season 1, finding a train to JFK. Frank took charge of figuring out which train to catch to JFK, while Margarita was trying to double check details instead of working together. And their past tensions turned their conversation into arguments, which slowed them down, in my opinion.
Exactly, exactly. You see that throughout every episode. Um, Frank, yeah, Frank, he's a piece, isn't he? He likes to take charge, and he even commented how they both of him and Margarita are very headstrong, and how they both like to be in charge. And then when you have two people like that, they're always going to be
Nice.
having problems.
As always. And then my second reason that I feel that they're an effective team, they decoding communication. However, Margarita interprets Frank messaging issues. Let's take season one for example. When they were bungee jumping, Margarita verbally hesitated and her body language showed reluctance towards the bungee jumping. But Frank recognized Margarita's fear, but his response was like, just do it.
Right?
It was
Exactly.
like, just do it.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
so he pushed her forward, however, without adapting his communication style to motivate her in a way that might have worked better. So he could have been a little better in that episode.
I agree. I agree.
So what do you think?
I think if he would have instead of focusing on the winning that leg, he could have taken the time to understand her hesitation, and he could have changed his tone. He could have changed his verbiage. He could have did better to get her motivated, to help her get motivated to actually jump off and do that bungee jumping. I agree.
Yeah, I think I think he missed his chance to work together smoothly by not balancing their talk. So he could have been a better listener than shutting her down. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So in closing, again, my name is Jeff Henley.
I'm Marquis Pixley.
And remember the name of our name of talk, who's in charge. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Okay. I have no idea how long that took, but uh so yeah, we